The Yakuza series, the Like a Dragon series, and any game made by RGG Studios are just some of the most fantastic and breathtaking video games that you will ever play in your entire life. They have personally made me go through every single emotion that you can think of: grief, despair, sadness, anger, happiness, joy, anything you can think of. This series is just the pinnacle of video games, honestly. Every single one brings you joy, it brings you sadness, it brings you heartbreak, it brings you brotherhood, it brings you every single emotion that you can even think of. You could go into a dictionary and start checking off all the emotions, and I guarantee you, you'd feel every single one when you play through this story. This game series is definitely something that I would recommend personally, and a game series that you have to get into, okay? The main protagonist, Kiryu Kazuma, is one of the greatest video game characters, in my opinion, of all time. Just so much emotion coming from him, and side characters as well, like Majima, like Sajima, like Daigo. You have all of the characters from the new games, like Saiko, like Namba, Adachi, Ichiban. Everybody has so much emotion, and I haven't even named all of them yet. You'll have Haruka, you'll have Yumi, everyone, and there's so many people. Nishiki, my personal favorite, with Kiryu as well. There's so many characters in this series that will bring you sadness, happiness, everything about it. And it's just, if you're looking for a game, that a good story game with a lot of good fighting mechanics and something that you will cry over, I'm telling you right now, if you don't cry without, if you're haven't been spoiled already, if you don't cry over these games, I don't think you have a soul. I'm gonna be honest, because like, this game will fuck you up. This video is not only talking about how this series has changed my life, but also recommending you all to go play the entire series as well, because every single game is amazing. Each game is also filled with so much content, and I'm not even talking about the main story. The side quests as well, or the sub stories, are also all amazing. They all have enriched stories that are all beautifully written, I'm gonna be honest. The majority of them are amazingly written. The short ones, the long ones, they all bring comedy, they bring sadness, they bring, again, most of any emotion that you can think of. There's a lot of thought that goes into these sub stories, and the gameplay as well, I'm gonna be honest, it gets worse over time with like the remastered from the remakes that they made, but it's still worthwhile to play just for the story, and the games get even better. And this game series has not only shown me that it's not always perfection, right? It has also shown me that there can be times, even when I'm really engaged in a series, I can still be bored as fuck, right? I can still be bored, I can still be slogging along, and this series is by no means perfect, okay? It's amazing, but it's by no means perfect. There's a lot of parts in, like, say, Yakuza 4, for example, you know, a part with snowy hills, I'm not really going to spoil much of it, that is very boring. It's like 5 hours, and it's very boring. You know, if you like the really slow-paced games, you're probably going to enjoy it more than I did. But for me personally, that spot of the game was really boring. I can also safely say that the Yakuza series has safely made me break down and cry more than I think the rest of my life, honestly. And counting as a baby, I feel like this game has made me cry at least 3 to 4 times per game, and that's also might be counting the Judgment games as well, because I've broken down to those games. Like, the writers at RGG are just peak. Like, I want to know who these people are. I need to shake these people's hands, because they have written games that have broken me, and I'm not one for really crying at games, but the Yakuza series seems to do it every single time. I've already cried like 5 times at Like a Dragon 8, and I'm amazed by it, because they do such a good job, and they tug at your heartstrings, especially later in the game. They will fuck with you, and it's messed up what they do sometimes, but they do it to move the plot forward, and they just dislike other people, you know, liking like, they can't let my boys just live their life in happiness, right? They have to keep fucking with me, and but it's written well, so it's not like it's just trying to, you know, use the characters again. It's very well written by RGG, and I respect them for it, how they're able to still write these amazing stories like 20 years later, even after like the original releases of Yakuza. It's insane. This series also helped me push just me through the pandemic as well. I started this series around mid 2022 when Xbox announced that Yakuza Like a Dragon was going to Game Pass, so I decided to start it because I've heard a lot of good stuff about the series, and apparently it was a good entry point. I played it, I loved it, and then I played the other 6-7 games throughout the next 2-3 months, and honestly, I feel like it actually affected me on an emotional level enough where it would push me through that, because obviously a lot of people were going through really shitty times during the pandemic, right? They were going through a lot of stress, a lot of money loss, and this was a good distraction for me, and I love the series for that. A lot of games did that. I finished over 100 video games in 2022, and I can safely say that video games in general put me, helped me get through the pandemic and helped me get through that huge emotional crisis that a lot of people I know, it affected a lot heavier. For me, the pandemic actually helped me, where a lot of people I know, it fucked them over, right? But like emotionally and with health, it actually helped me more than if it didn't happen. I think I'd be in a completely different situation. I don't think I would be making YouTube videos, honestly, if without the pandemic. I don't think I'd be in the state I'm in, say, in real life, like with a good job and in school, if without the pandemic. Like, I think I would have been a lot worse off if I didn't have the time to focus on myself and do the things I want to do, like play video games. I know that might sound stupid, but being able to play 100 games in a year and really use my time to do something I want to do that year, and then playing this amazing series just really helped me in that year and through 2023 as well. I was absolutely pumped for Gaiden and Infinite Wealth. I was planning on buying Gaiden, but it went to Game Pass, so I played it through Game Pass, and then I wanted to get a physical copy of Infinite Wealth, but sadly my GameStop didn't fucking sell it because they had one copy and they sold it to some other asshole that already bought it. Fuck that guy. But I bought it digitally because I just needed to play the game day one, and I'm loving it. I'm fucking loving it. I'm like 40 hours in. I'm adoring the game, and I can't wait to play the next RGG game. Like if it's Judgment 3, or if it's another, smaller Yakuza game, or if it's another big Yakuza game, or anything else really that they make, I will play because they have earned that, right? I will buy all of their games day one unless they're in a subscription service, just because every single game I know is quality, it has good length, it has good story, good gameplay, and is fucking peak in general. This video game series has shown me just so much. It's really brought my eyes to other video games as well. It's opened my span, like especially Like a Dragon. It's shown me that turn-based games can be a lot of fun, especially in a certain genre like Yakuza. I love the Yakuza like genre and like of this video game concept. I started another game, Sleeping Dogs, because of it. I saw it's another kind of game like Yakuza, like GTA, but it's more of like a fighter game. I've been playing it. I actually do enjoy it a lot. I might make a video on it in the future when I do finish it, but like it's really shown me, and I really do love this game, and I have a very big emotional attachment to all these characters. Like honestly, if Goro Majima dies, I'm ending my own life. Like that's a joke, but like that, I would be so heartbroken. And it's just scenes happen in past games that have broken me, right? Like my jaw drops, right? Either at really badass scenes with Kiryu, right? Where in Yakuza 5, he does just something that's fucking insane. I think it's about like the second chapter of his little story because it splits everyone off. Or scenes that happen with Haruka, like that just fucking break me, right? Honestly, like in Gaiden, there's like one scene that I was like flabbergasted at because I'm thinking like, holy shit. Now I can't say it because I don't want to spoil people, because I don't want to like, I want you guys to experience this game for yourself if you haven't already. But just everything about it, like I can't talk about it or else I'd be gushing about every little story detail that I love and hate. But if you haven't already, you have to play this game, right? Like I mean, this game has emotionally changed me for the rest of my life, and it's really put my commitment to a studio like RGG. Like I'll fucking defend them, other than like what they're doing with the New Game Plus bullshit. That is bullshit. Okay, Sega needs to fucking knock it off, and RGG needs to knock it off with their money hungry just bullshit of what they're doing, because they make great games, and by doing that, they're fucking over their consumers, which I hate. But yeah, what I said a bit earlier about the pandemic really fucking a lot of people over, and this game like saving me from that, like mentally. I mean, when you put a lot of emotional stake into a video game and just everything about it, like I can't tell you how many times I've cried, even over the smallest things, like in Like a Dragon 8. I've cried over the smallest things. The smallest things. Like a character will talk. I'll see their face in the game and I broke down. Like I was like, holy shit. I love this character. Like I don't even want anything bad happening. And it's gonna happen, obviously. Like I have to accept it at some point. I have to, I'm gonna be going through the 5 stages of grief in every fucking Yakuza game that I play. You will go through the 5 stages of grief. You'll go to acceptance, you'll go to all that stuff. It's really funny when you actually, look back at it. I've gone through 5 stages of grief probably like 6 times in this series. Like, no, that didn't happen, and I've just have to accept it in the end. But it's just, I love these video games. They're all amazing. Like, and if I could like buy collector's editions of these games right now, I probably would, once I have enough money, because my fucking broke ass is building a PC and I need to actually save money for those parts. And I fully intend on replaying the Yakuza series again on PC, right? I mean, like, because the first time I played through the series, I kind of like, for the first few games, I just ran through the stories because I really wasn't interested in the side quests. But, as I got later into the series, like 6, 7, Gate, and 8, I really started going into side quests because those are like newer games and I wanted to like experience all of the side content. Like, I did all the big stuff, right? Like in Yakuza 6, there was this big, like fighting thing that you could do, like this huge fighting. I can't spoil it, but then in Yakuza 7 there's like a business, and Yakuza 8 there's the resort, and just everything about it. Like do have to go back and replay through 0, 1, 2, and etc. But just like, I love this series. I could talk about it forever, but I do have to make this video shorter so it's not a 3 hour long video of me gushing and talking nonsense for that long. But yes, in short, this game has fucked me up. This series has fucked me up, and just, it's made me so happy. Like, there was a scene where Kiryu was singing and I was just fucking tuning. I honestly love this scene. I'll probably be putting it in my Yakuza Like a Dragon 8 review because it's just holy shit. Like, I love this scene so much. The way I love it. And I'm not gonna show the scene right now because it kind of, I want to say it's spoiled stuff, but it's something I want you guys to experience for yourself. Unless you're gonna watch my review, which, heads up now, will have major spoilers. Like, I will be talking about a lot of stuff, but that's not coming for like a few weeks at minimum because I still have to finish the fucking game. I'm only still in chapter 8, but this series has changed my life. I can definitively say, like, and I can kind of give that thanks to the pandemic even more because the pandemic also changed my life in a lot of ways. Like, I'm better for it. And that sounds fucked up, but I am. I am directly benefiting from the pandemic because of what happened, because of being indoors, because of being bored. And I can say boredom has brought me a lot of good things in my life currently that have greatly affected me. And I don't think I can say that about a lot of other people who have been affected negatively. But the Yakuza series was something I would not have played without the pandemic or without even Game Pass. And I'll probably make a video about Xbox Game Pass and how great that is as well in the future. But that's about it for me in this video. I'm going to end it now so I don't start talking for 30 minutes and like you just click off anyway. So if you did enjoy this video, consider leaving a like, sharing, commenting, and subscribing if you so choose to. And I'll see you all in the next video.